And now we're going to talk about Monroe's motivated sequence and how to apply survey results to Monroe's motivated sequence. When you do your survey, you are going to try to learn about your audience. And then you're going to take those results and apply it to Monroe's to organize your persuasive presentation. The results for the survey will help you to adapt to know where you should focus for your particular audience. And when I say your particular audience, that could be a receptive audience, a neutral audience, or an unreceptive audience. And once again, your survey results are going to tell you what type of audience you have. If you have a receptive audience, this audience is already on your side. So you're going to share your solution and ask them to take action. You're really focusing on action when the audience is already on your side. Within Monroe's motivated sequence, then, you are going to really emphasize the satisfaction step and the action step. So you're going to let the students or the class know, this is my solution or my satisfaction, and this is the action I want you to take. Now again, you go through all 5 steps of Monroe's motivated sequence. You go through them in the same order that they're always listed. But your audience is on your side, so you're emphasizing, let's do this. You're going to focus on your satisfaction and action steps a little bit more. And in doing this, you're going to identify with your audience. You're going to let them know, hey, we are together on this. Let them know that you're on the same side. Tell them exactly what you want them to do and ask them to do it immediately. We already talked a little bit about the action step, and it should be fairly immediate. And by immediate, it means that it should be something that they can do within a very small amount of time. It doesn't have to be do it right now. It could be, such as a QR code that they might scan where they do engage in the action right now, or at least get the first steps of the action. But it could be just within the next week or so, can you do this? So you're going to tell them exactly what you want them to do and ask them to do it immediately. And when your audience is on your side, emotions work well. You have to build up strong emotion. It's not just like a quick little fun story that makes them happy for a few seconds. You really build up strong emotion in an audience that's receptive, and that gets them to do what you want. People do big things based on emotion. They buy houses based on emotion, or cars. Big things based on emotion. So if you can bring up a lot of emotion, you can get the audience to do what you want them to. So again, you're identifying with them, and you are going to ask them to show immediate support, and this could be in the form of a QR code. You don't have to. That's just something that is fairly new and something that a lot of people use just because it is immediate support. And you can make it easy for the audience to do what you want them to because you have that QR code, and that's easy for them to do. And then again, use of emotional appeals works great because this audience is already on your side, and you can push them to do what you want with emotion. If you have a neutral audience, this audience is the audience that's like, whatever, I don't really care about this topic. It could be that they're kind of on the fence about the topic, or I have never even thought of this before. In that case, this is the neutral audience. So you're going to really emphasize thoughts in this situation. You're not likely to get them to do a lot of action, though you still have to ask for that action step. It's not going to be a big one. You're going to really focus on attention, which is grabbing the audience's attention. You're going to hook them with a great introduction. You are going to focus on the need, which is the problem that is impacting them. And here you're going to refer to universal beliefs and concerns because we all are in this together. They were not so sure. They didn't really think about it before, or they have never heard of this. So you're going to convince them, no, this impacts all of us. And you should show how it impacts all of us because especially in the typical college age group, they tend to have this, yeah, but it won't happen to me idea or mindset. So you talk about how it can impact their loved ones. So you really focus on that. And that's part of the visualization. This is how it will impact the people that you love. And then your visualization. Also keep in mind with this, well, I'm sorry, for visualization, you are letting them know how it can impact them, the good that'll happen, the bad that'll happen to them or the people that they love. But keep in mind, you're working with people and they already are kind of like, I don't know, or whatever, I don't really care about that topic, or I've never even heard of it before. So you're not going to necessarily make them change in your short speech. But it's not that you don't try, that you don't put together good speech. You do put together good speech and you try, but you may be just chipping away a little bit. But that can be a good chip. And then finally, you can have the unreceptive audience. Now they can be unreceptive towards you in one of two ways. Unreceptive to you personally or against your topic. Now, unreceptive to you against you personally, I have never had this in my classes ever in more than 20 years of teaching. If, though, you find you're in a situation where the people don't particularly care for you, and sometimes that might happen, but they have to go to the presentation anyway, you can't just be like, well, a hater's going to hate, I don't care. What you're going to do if they're unreceptive toward you personally is really emphasize your credibility. You're going to show the research that you've done, your education, your great experience in this area. So even though they may not like you, they may be compelled to think, you know what? They are making sense. And again, that's only if they're unreceptive to you personally, which I've never had in all my years of teaching. If the audience is unreceptive to your if the audience is unreceptive towards your topic, you're going to emphasize thoughts, especially attention and need. So if the audience is unreceptive to your topic, don't come right out and state what your topic is. Because if you find your audience is all for having firearms and you want tighter gun control and you say in the beginning, I'm going to persuade you we need tighter gun control, your audience is going to shut down. They're not going to listen to you. You do need to acknowledge the opposing points that the audience members may hold when you have an unreceptive audience. What you do is acknowledge what they think, what they feel, what they do, but then you refute it with good, strong evidence. And when the audience is unreceptive, you have good, strong arguments first. Because if you start off with the weaker arguments, they're going to say, oh my God, this is horrible, this is so weak, and they're shutting you out. You do want to emphasize those common areas again, so we all have the need for safety. We all want to feel safe going to the store. Yes, we do. But then you're going to talk about the way that you see that as working best. And keep in mind, when your audience is unreceptive toward your topic, you're working on small steps. You, again, still need to ask for that action step, but it's going to be something small because you know they're not necessarily going to do something big. So recapping, when you get your survey results, you're going to determine if you have a receptive audience, someone who's on your side. And if you do, as you apply Monroe's motivated sequence, you're going to really focus on satisfaction and action. If you determine you have a neutral audience, they're kind of on the fence, they're like whatever, or they never really thought about this much before, you're going to emphasize attention, need, and visualization. And if you had an audience that's unreceptive towards your thoughts, you're going to focus on attention and need.